earlier we said that we really didn't understand what it was, or at least I did. You might have explained it better, but just for those of you who don't know, so each gene key has a codon ring, and essentially that is a link to another gene key that you can read and study that might give you more insight on the other one. So this one was the ring of water, and it was tied to the 8th gene key. And I delved into the 8th gene key to contemplate it, to see if I could pull more from the second one, and I definitely did it. It pretty much is like, it's very similar to the second one. It almost gives you like further concepts. So it is different, but at the same time, it's like they definitely both coincide. So if you're like me, so this one's like about femininity. The first time I listened to it, I was like, well, I don't understand anything that this one's saying. And being able to go to the 8th one and have it kind of like explore the idea further was very interesting. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly, how linked they are, if it's like the 8th one is like how directly connected it is, but I was able to definitely pull more from the second one by listening to the 8th one. And I didn't get to do that for the first gene key, which was tied to 14.
14, yeah.
But it'll be interesting when we circle back around to 14.
And tie back number 1.
And tie back to number 1. But so anyway, so like what we're talking about, how you're never out of sync with the universe, but it was saying that you have to have that experience. So even though the experience itself is an illusion, you have to feel like you're out of sync with it so that you can become more finely tuned, or to get back, I mean, you're not really going back to anything, but it's such a funny thing to think about. But it was just saying that the experience of feeling out of sync is a vital one. So you even though you're never out of sync with it, you have to sometimes feel like you are.
Yeah, I can understand that, and the feeling of being lost and feeling like something's wrong with you, but once you become aware of the lower frequency, you can start transcending it into a higher frequency. And once you start doing that, you can see that these synchronicities are happening for you, and everything in your life is happening for you. And once you let go of all of the suffering and ties and fear that you have based on it, then you can accept that reality, and it becomes closer and closer to your residing level of consciousness and frequency. And therefore you'll have more synchronicities, and your timing only becomes more and more in sync with the universal plan and truth.
Yeah, I definitely go through like waves of experiencing synchronicity and then not experiencing it. I experienced some today. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I really felt like the second one I kind of felt like today. It's like I was feeling some anxiety about getting a new camera for our setup, and listening to this, I was like, man, just what are you stressing about? It's like, the only reason I wouldn't want to get it is the fear, the fear of spending the money on it. But I was like, you know what, just do it. And as soon as I did it, one of our friends came through and sent us some money for it, to help pay for it, because he wanted to support us. So it's like, just, not giving in to the fear and just doing it, And, it's hard to decipher between what's a thought should you just shoo away, and then what's a thought is the universe going ahead and telling you to do something. So yeah, just finding that balance, right? You don't want to give in to every thought, but sometimes it makes sense.
Yeah, I was definitely saying that fear basically controls all of our thoughts and actions, and that most people only respond and act based off of fear in opposition to truth itself, and just going with the flow, like water. It kind of tied into the martial arts aspect. It's like the more you resist something, the more difficult it is. So you might as well just go with water, going against the waves, going against the current.
Right. And I was saying that actions from fear don't produce the same results as actions from trust. It's like, if you can doing something because you trust what you're doing, will have a different intention than doing the same thing, but you're scared because of something else might happen.